support, please reach out, because I will be visiting both your schools again in terms of my schedule at least a couple more times before the end of the school year for grad meetings and ring days. And so typically I spend the full day in the school when I'm there. Like, I'll be there for lunch, and then I'll typically stay in the afternoon, meet with different teachers, and then I stay after school for parent night. So if you ever wanted to sit down and plan a meeting on a day that I'm going to be at your school, I would certainly welcome that. And I can certainly reach out once my schedule is booked in the new year and let you know the dates that I'm going to be at your school. And perhaps we could borrow out, even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes, to have a conversation, and let us know what you need from us. If you need literature, if you haven't been shared with, we've got a rep link that I can give you a link for the Renaissance resources, and then you'll be able to access everything more so than just going on the website and hopping on. And just for being a partner with Jostens, you get that link and you get full access to all the resources that we have. If there's anything else that you guys need, from the Jostens side, please let us know. And then, as Melissa said, she's kind of our ambassador of sorts in terms of connecting with teachers, sharing her experience. And like she'd mentioned, she's been at it now for 13, 14 years. So she's been an invaluable resource because Melissa understands your guys' day-to-day. I mean, I'm slowly starting to see it, but I can no way understand it because I'm not a teacher. I'm just in the hallways. But I understand you guys have hectic, busy days. And if there's anything that we can do to make it easier to consume the Renaissance information, and then in turn make your day-to-day easier by using some of the resources and lessons within Renaissance. I mean, that's ultimately what this is all about, is to help you guys as much as we can.
Okay, perfect. And if there's ever a chance, because I know at Caroline, at your school, your principal's talking about having us come and doing a presentation to some teachers and students, which we will gladly come do as well. So that's also a possibility for schools as well, if there's interest for that. So does anybody have anything, questions or anything, you want to know more about Renaissance specifically? I mean, I could talk about this for days. Poor Jordan gets earfuls sometimes from me, but so anything specific that you guys had come to mind about this?
I guess my question, I've briefly looked at literature. It's basically, in what I've read is that it's, sort of like a way of thinking about the spirit of your school, getting kids involved, increasing attendance, and a whole other slew of things. The kid at my school right now who's thinking of what this is, she's and there's another teacher as well that's supposed to be more the lead. I'm sort of more of just as a support because that teacher is new to the school as well. So, and she said she was involved in it before, but I don't know. Her name is Aisha Salwa. She's new to our school. Anyway, there's a student who wants to do some initiatives, some things. She went to some sort of conference and she learned about some things you can do at your school to get your kids more, involved and caring about each other. But I don't know that they're on the right path in what they're thinking. I was thinking, should you rope in the student council, the mental health, that we have a thing called student voice, which is kids, it's not student council, it's a separate thing to get your voice heard. So should those groups come together and sort of maybe look at following the Renaissance kind of ideas or framework? Or is it supposed to be say this one or two students start to get some other students on board and it becomes a separate thing?
Right. Well, it really depends on your school, right? So it's whatever works well for your school. Here at KVHS, our student council and our Renaissance team are separate. Now, was that conference that the student went to in Fredericton? Do you know?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I was there too. We presented about some of the stuff that we do at our school with Renaissance. So, but yeah, so it's really up to your school. With our school, our student council is so busy with other things that when I started this 14 years ago, we said, no, we're going to keep them separate because where they're so busy, we didn't want to stretch them too thin. Now, there are some schools, for example, Fredericton High, just 2 years ago adopted the Renaissance philosophy and is integrating it into what they do with student council. So they've changed some of the things that they do, and some of their activities more reflect a Renaissance philosophy. So that part is really up to you. In terms of your initiatives, do you is there something specific that the student is looking to focus on when it comes to initiatives?
I don't know, she seemed to talk about like just creating positive relationships among students.
Right.
And and she had like a list, but she wasn't really sure about them, and she was something she wrote down from the conference.
Right.
And it was a quick meeting we had, but one thing she wanted to do was like, I don't know if this was a thing that was mentioned or part of the philosophy, but like passing out like lollipops with like positive messages on them. Only thing is, she couldn't do that because they wouldn't allow the junk food like around the school. But I just thought, well, there's other positive message ways, things you can do if that's the goal. But I guess I don't know, like, what are some things that you're doing at your school or you have done that were successful, and like what are some examples of the Renaissance philosophy, I guess?
So, well, the big thing with the philosophy, have you seen the Renaissance formula? There's a
sort of. Okay.
I'll see if I can bring it up here on my screen. I'm going to see if I can find it on my computer. I do have it. So everything that we do is built on the Renaissance formula. And I'm a math teacher, so I like formulas. But it's not a difficult formula to follow. So, so it's based on the 5 R's of Renaissance. Oh, there it is.
Oh yeah, I read about that, I think.
Yeah, so I'm just going to open it up here and then I'll share my screen so you guys can see it. That's the wonderful thing about this program as well, that you can share your screen. And let's see, share. Okay. Hopefully we'll open. I know it's looking like a blank screen right now, but hopefully it'll open. My computer's so slow. There it is. Can you guys see that?
No.
No?
It shows.
Yeah,
you can? Respect, recognize, reward, reinforce, and then results?
No, it doesn't show you. That just shows a blank background.
Okay. Can you see it though, Jordan?
Actually, no. What comes up is just like your Skype list. It came up for 2 seconds, and then it.
Okay, let me see here. New share. Let's try this. Oh, there it is. There, can we see it now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so this is the formula that we try to build everything on. So the first piece is respect. So you have to decide what you're going to respect. So maybe that student wants to respect and build those positive relationships between students. Okay, great. So you have your respect piece. Then you have to figure out how you're going to recognize and reward that. So that school that she saw, that wasn't one of our ideas, but they obviously put those positive notes on the suckers and handed them out. But the big part of this is to reinforce it. So you have to do that. You can't just do it once and then expect it to work, right? You got to do it over and over and over again, and then that's when you're going to see the results. One big thing I would say is it does take about 3 years to feel like you're finally starting to make an impact and make progress, or at least it did for us. So you have to choose 1 or 2 things and work on that, because you're going to see like schools that have been doing this for a long time. You're going to think, oh, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that. But you got to realize it takes a while to build up to that. So choose 1 or 2 things and do that. Now, in terms of things that work well for recognizing, are you looking specific for building positive relationships or anything at all with the
anything at all? That was just one thing that she was focusing on, was positive relationships.
Okay.
Anything at all?
One of the things that we do to recognize students, and we do this monthly actually, it's called our 100% Club. And what it is that staff members can send in names of students that got 100% on anything. It could be a test, could be assignment, could be quiz, project, presentation, whatever, it doesn't matter. And we don't even ask them, so we don't know if the kid gets 100% or not, but we really don't care. If the teacher feels that they need to be recognized for their hard work, then we make sure that that happens. So what it is, they email the names into me once a month, and then every month our board has a theme, and we write the name. So like we're getting ready to do our Christmas board for December. That is just it's a Christmas tree with the Christmas ornaments. So the names of the kids that are going into the 100% Club will go on the Christmas ornaments. It's actually going up tomorrow. And it goes, there's a bulletin board in our main area of our school right by our bathrooms. That's our bulletin board, and we change that every month. And we take pictures of it and we post it on our Instagram page, and the kids get those little things back at the end of the month. So sometimes they don't even know that their name was up there. But when they do, it goes back to the teacher that submitted their name, and then they give it to the teacher. Sometimes some teachers have actually taken those things and created a space in their classroom to display all the names of the kids that got recognized for that. So then the kids will be like, well, what is their name up there for? Oh, they were in 100% Club. So then it starts another positive conversation. But we're actually in the new year going to be changing the name of the club, because we've always told teachers, like, it doesn't matter to us if they have 100% or not. If you feel that they're doing really well for them,
I'm on a conference call.
Please send their name in. But the thing of it is, we had a teacher that said, like, she came and said, like, I have this student that's working really hard and she's getting like 75s, and that's awesome for her. But she said she would never, wouldn't accept being in 100% club. But we said, well, we don't care that she doesn't have 100%. Send us her name if she's working hard and deserving of it. But the teacher said, no, like, because she doesn't have 100%, she will not accept that piece of cardboard when she gets it back. So she said, I have a suggestion. Why don't you change it to Academic Excellence Club? We said, great. So we took it to the kids. They liked it. So starting in semester 2, we're going to change the name of it to Academic Excellence Club. But it'll still be the same thing. Teachers can send in names of students that are doing well academically, or that they feel are working, maybe harder than they normally would, or they did really well on something, and send their name in. So, and it's really cute too, because the way we set up for parent teacher, the bulletin board is always usually right directly across from my table. And I've actually seen parents go over with their cell phones and take pictures of little pieces of cardstock with their kid's name on it. And, it means so much to them and to us when we do it. We just think, oh, it's a piece of cardstock, but it means so much to the kids to have that little bit of recognition.
Okay.
And I think too, and Melissa can speak to more of this, but if you're looking just to start it, I mean, you really do got to come in and plug yourself into the 5 hours, but to make a big splash like 100% Club or an attendance breakfast, we've got lots of literature. Like, we've got a book that says ideas, and that's something that's a resource that I can get you, and it literally has over, like, what, Melissa, like, is it 1,000 ideas? Like,
oh gosh, I don't even know how many ideas. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, there's an idea for everything.
Yeah, there's no shortage of ideas, but I mean, from my perspective, to make a splash where you're going to involve more of the student body, like if you had, the 100% Club or an attendance breakfast where you're going to be recognizing a large sum of students, I think you can get the ripple going a little bit easier than maybe handing out suckers to say something nice to somebody. Like, you kind of want to start something that encapsulates as big of a part of the student body as possible, and start getting them to ask why. Like, why are we having this? What is this? And I think it might make sense because, Diana, I saw your comment as well in terms of, you guys have a very similar situation at MVHS, and as well as I see that you're trying to get started. You're trying to bring in, it looks like, a student council in Real Talk. I'm not too sure what that is, but bringing 2 groups together, and you're having a hard time getting, Renaissance started as a separate entity. I mean, these are the types of things that we need to know from you guys, and I think it would really make sense for Melissa and I to hop on a call with each of you to help you get started in your own respective schools, to get you on a path and get you focused on something, because it is really difficult to know where to start. And I mean, I can send you a book with 1,000 ideas, and I've got some great literature that I can also send over to you, Caroline, that I've sent to Diana, just to kind of give you some background information. But without focus and without buy-in and without having some support from, whether it's your student council, some student leaders, your administration, some other teachers, it is a very difficult thing to get started, and we recognize that. And, that's something. Yeah, sorry.
Can I just talk about how we kind of got started?
Sure.
So what we had done, many years ago, 14 years ago, I guess, we attended a workshop in Fredericton about Renaissance. And when I came back, we knew this was in the spring, and we wanted to start a team for that fall. So what we did is we actually, to get it started as a separate entity, was the teacher advisor. So I approached kids that were not on student council, but I knew would be good for the group. I said, hey, you know what? I really think you'd be really good at this. Why don't you come and join us and try it out to see? Because we wanted good kids, so that way that helps us get those good kids, because we don't have, it's not like student council. We don't have elections. Anyone is welcome to come join the team that's needed. So to have that piece, and it really made the kids feel like, oh, I'm being invited to do this thing? This is kind of cool, right? So it kind of hooked them that way. So if you have kids that you think might be really good at this, then hook them. And the thing of it is, I find with the Renaissance kids, they're leaders, but they're different leaders than student council leaders sometimes, which is not a bad thing, right? Because we need all those types of leaders. But I find sometimes they're the more quiet ones. I mean, mind you, we have the kids in our group that like to public speak and all that stuff, but the majority of our kids are the ones that like to be the leaders behind the scenes, that are getting things ready, or they're there to hand out things as our perfect attendance breakfast starts. So it's just different types of leadership than I find sometimes student council kids tend to be more outgoing leaders. Does that make sense? More outgoing as opposed to some of our Renaissance kids, but they're still leaders. So the big thing I found was to ask kids to join the group. So we became a separate entity. Does that make sense, Diana? Okay, perfect. So yeah, that was, and to have your, and obviously Caroline, you do, and I'm sure Diana, you do as well, that to have your administration support is a big thing, as well as the support of your staff. And a good way to get the support of your staff is to make sure you do some sort of recognition or rewards specifically for them, because then they're going to see the value in it as well. Right? So one thing that we do with our teachers is we do, every month we have what we call birthday bags. So there's a website called birthdayalarm.com. I think I have a premium membership, but I think you can get like a free one if you want. And they can go in and enter their birthdays. We just we send the link out at the beginning of the year, because some people are obviously still on there, but you get new staff. They enter their birthday, we print off a list, and then we do up a little bag of goodies for them to deliver to their mailbox sometime during their birthday month. And people say, well, my birthday's in July or my birthday's in August. That doesn't really matter. Well, yes, it does. Your birthday matters. So we make sure that the people in July get theirs in June, and then August birthdays get theirs in September when we come back. So you got to remember to do the things for the staff as well. Are there other specific questions or concerns?
I just kind of feel like I probably just need to do some more research into it. So. Okay.
Well, and Carolyn, over the weekend, I'm currently in New Brunswick, away from my office, where I've got all the Renaissance materials. Like I do have basically a folding pamphlet that has 5 inserts to kind of break down the different aspects under the Renaissance umbrella. Like the 5 R's is kind of the philosophy, but there's also other things that are encapsulated with Renaissance. So I think once you see that, you'll start to see a bit more of a clear photo or a clear picture of the power of Renaissance and what it can do. And I'll also get you a specific, like that code that I was talking about earlier, that'll get you, unlimited all access into, the Renaissance online. And then you can kind of plug and play and look around, because one big component of Renaissance is called the Harbor. And basically what that is our host, Mike Smith, it deals with real life issues with real life people. And it's not just for the kids, it's for everybody. And basically what it is, it's a 5 to 10 minute speaker series where they cover everything from digital detox to bullying to tolerance to, you name any issue that any staff or child in your school might run into. And I guarantee he's covered it. And it's 6 seasons worth of material. And the other really neat thing too is it doesn't necessarily have to be a whole class. If there's a subset of students that are dealing with an issue, you can kind of bring them off to the side. But the cool thing is you show the video and then it comes with discussion questions. Mm-hmm. So could this be, could this be half of a leadership class someday? Absolutely. Could this be something where, like I said, you pull a set of group of students off to the side, maybe over a lunch hour, do something? Like we've got stuff canned that doesn't, no thinking, no time. All you really need to do is implement and discuss. So there's some little things like that again, once you see some more literature, I think it'll start to be more of a clear photo for you, or a clear picture.
Yeah. Diana, I know you just had mentioned about not having anything credited to Renaissance. What we found is that we really had to brand ourselves. So everything that we did, we put Renaissance on it. So like, I know the stair stickers, like you had mentioned, would be harder to do because those come from Jostens, but like our 100% club, there's always like a centerpiece and it says Renaissance 100% club. Or anytime we give anything to the staff, we have a stamp that says KVHS Renaissance. So we put that on it. We have rewards cards, they say KVHS Renaissance. So everything says pretty much that we give out says Renaissance on it somewhere. So then people know that it comes from us. It does take.
Any other?
Yeah.
Oh, no, go ahead, Melissa.
It does take a while for the word to get out.
And the other thing too is Chris and I can provide some swag. So like Renaissance, there's a whole Renaissance store online. I mean, anything from pins that you put on your shirt to, I mean, you name it. There's everything. There's little posters. So we could provide as reps some of that stuff. But if you've got any type of budget at your school, you could also hop online and maybe grab a few items as well. Mm-hmm. But I mean, again, this is what we need to hear, because this is new for Melissa and I and Chris as well. And maybe we've got starter kits that are produced by Jostens, but even maybe looking into something else that, would help you guys spread the word and the Renaissance brand. But again, that's something, we can take offline, and it just sounds to me like you just need some more literature to go through, Caroline, before you can really start to dig in.
Yeah, I need to dedicate more time to it for sure.
Yeah. And Diana too, like with the branding piece, I know sometimes you feel like you're bragging that, oh, this is Renaissance again. But I know because we're quite a large school, and people appreciate that it says KVHS Renaissance on our stuff, because then they know who it came from.
Okay. I don't really have any more questions, I guess. I just feel like I need to go look into it a bit more, but I have your email, so I think I will email you if I have any questions. Or
perfect. Well, and I'll email Tammy too, because she said she wanted to set up a time for us to come talk to some of your staff and students about it. So yeah, we'd love to do that in the new year.
Yeah, I think she would definitely want you to do that. So.
Yeah.
And what I'll commit, because Diana, I guess I'm seeing here that you don't have the ideas book. So I can get each of you a copy of the ideas, as well as, we can do like we can put up a little swag bag together as well, because I think that would certainly help. And in the meantime, Carolyn, before I can send you over some information, if you've got a few minutes over the next day or two, just go to YouTube and type in Mike Smith Harbor, type in Renaissance. Like there is some stuff on YouTube as well that Jostens has put up. That once you see a few of the videos for Harbor, you'll certainly get a sense for it.
Yeah, I watched one of them or so, but I didn't have a chance to watch any more than that. So yeah, sure. I think I'll go and watch some more of them for sure.
And Caroline, have you been on jostensrenaissance.com?
I think I went on there briefly a couple months ago, and then I had deadlines and I couldn't. So, but I can get back into it. I was mostly letting the other teacher be the lead, because she had a personal connection with the student. Okay. And I no longer teach that student, and I don't see them on a day-to-day basis. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking that I was more of their support, but I think it's probably going to end up being that I'm going to be the lead / she's going to be the lead kind of situation on the situation. So so I have to get myself more in there now.
Perfect.
So yeah.
Well, just know you're not alone, and like I said, like we're always traveling by and through your school, and Melissa's a fantastic resource. So just don't feel like you have to do this by yourself, because that's certainly the last thing that we want you to do.
I'll reach out to you guys, but yeah, if you send me the ideas book, it might help to kind of, because that's what I'm thinking right now, is like what to do with it after I've, of course, done some more research. That would be helpful. So, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. Excellent. Well, if there are no other questions, I guess this is probably where we'll stop for today. But if you guys think of anything, please feel free to send Jordan or myself or both of us an email. I also too, I don't mind, I'll give you my cell phone number, text, whatever. Any way that we can help you get this started. It's been really positive in our school. And hope to get to your guys' school, be able to share some more of what we do and the stories and things that we've had, how it's impacted our students. So
yeah,
really
that'd
cool.
be excellent.
Yeah. And I guess the one thing I'll leave off is, PBIS is obviously something that's talked about within the walls of every school, and the similarities between Renaissance and PBIS, if you're trying to get your head around it, there's a ton of parallels, and it's essentially one of the same. So it really, it can be augmented into probably a lot of what you're already being asked to do.
Okay. I figured that. It sounds very similar to some of the things you've done. So
it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, guys, for being here. Appreciate your time. I know it's a busy holiday season, but yeah, appreciate you being here, and have a great day.
Okay. See you later. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks, guys.
Merry Christmas. Bye.